Let me begin by giving the profound apologies of my President, Mohammed Buhari, who is unavoidably absent. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are all in agreement that the intended nationally determined contributions have been groundbreaking. We clearly remember how much uncertainty we felt before submitting our intended national determined contributions. Climate change negotiations had been at a standstill for far too long, and the risk of another failure was very real. Intended national determined contributions with their innovative bottom-up approach were successful in finally breaking the deadlock in climate change policymaking. What the Paris Agreement succeeded in doing for climate change and development was to set the tone together for the international community working together. Nigeria submitted its ambitious intended national determined contributions. We have now pledged a 20% reduction in business as usual emissions by 2030 and a 45% conditional commitment, which can be achieved with financial assistance, partnerships, technology transfer, and building capacity. The Sustainable Development Goals are an integral part to Nigeria's development, and the mission of the Nigerian government through the INDCs is fully aligned with them. We are focusing on reducing poverty, increasing food security, creating jobs by diversifying the economy, providing a healthier environment, and most importantly, driving economic development by providing access to energy for our people. This COP22 is the COP of NDC implementation. We had this thought very much on our minds when our delegation left Paris last year. Submitting our INDCs was not the end goal. On the contrary, it was the start of a journey full of challenges but also opportunities. I am pleased to share with you the progress that we have made in Nigeria since COP21 in Paris. We have prepared an NDC implementation roadmap. It details roles and responsibilities around mitigation, adaptation, monitoring, reporting, and verification of greenhouse gas emissions, and putting in place our governance structure. We are developing sectoral plans for the 5 main economic sectors in Nigeria, namely power, oil and gas, agriculture, transport, and industries. We are ensuring full ownership of and commitment to the NDC by the relevant ministries, departments, and agencies. This multi-sectoral collaboration is crucial to delivering results on the pledges and essential to mobilizing international support for our effort. We are also exploring options for mobilizing finance and investment. Further, we will continue to engage the private sector, an important partner in sustainable development, and development partners for their continued support. In spite of the global downturn and our own budgetary constraints domestically, we are committing a reasonable part of our 2017 capital budget to this effort. The 2017 budget will be a green budget that will reflect Nigeria's efforts to realize our NDC. In addition, we are set to launch our first ever sovereign green bond in the first quarter of 2017. This is intended to fund a series of projects targeted at reducing emissions for a greener economy and embedded in our NDC. We are working diligently to strengthen our MRV systems, as this will help us achieve the increased transparency and accountability that is needed across all sectors and all levels of government. On the issue of renewable energy, our priorities are ensuring energy access, energy security, and developing renewable resources for energy. We are strengthening the policy and regulatory base. In this regard, we have developed the Sustainable Energy for All Action Agenda and the National Renewable Energy Action Plan, among other policies. The policies contained in our Vision 30-30-30 aim to increase on-grid power capacity from the current level of about 5 gigawatts to 30 gigawatts by 2030. Our expectation is at least 30% of this capacity will come from renewable energy. On NDC implementation, for the power sector, we will build on this progress. We will include clear mitigation and adaptation priorities, which will also be the basis for project proposals to attract innovative international climate finance. In conclusion, I wish to reiterate that Africa as a continent has a fundamental role to play in the implementation of the Paris Agreement. I am pleased with the progress we have made in Africa, from the ambitious intended international determined contributions, we have submitted to being leaders and incubators of new ideas. Africa is committed to delivering on its pledges. It will, however, require the collaborative efforts of the international community, in particular the development partners working together with Africa to ensure that the means of implementation enshrined in the Paris Agreement are delivered. This will help in the realization of Africa's aspiration for inclusive growth, sustainable development, and prosperity in line with Agenda 2063. I thank you for your attention.